Hello guys, and welcome back to my Diablo 3 run in Inferno mode. We saved Tyrael last time, so now we have to find his sword, because apparently he needs that to remember who he is. I've slightly changed the volume settings. Hopefully it'll be a little better now. The sound effects in general are more quiet, the music is a little lower, the voices are just as loud as they were before.
Lingers over these fields.
Just so you can basically hear what people are saying. And the effects won't, well, shout me down as much anymore. Now, sadly, there's some strange lag occasionally. Some of it is server lag, which, well, just happens. Some of it is, I don't know, random frame rate drops, which I don't understand. But it happens, and I cannot change it. So, get used to it. And usually it's fine. Technically, the game should run smoothly. Okay, there we have some elite mobs. And the charge attack these guys have is quite strong. As you see, it deals about 12,000 damage, if I remember correctly.
That is what I have trained for.
So 12,000 damage, that's not too bad. Again, I can tank it for a while, and I still have my defensive skills, so... I know the first time I played this, they were a lot more dangerous. But, yeah. I seem to be having some internet lag as well, but my connection is fine. Any lag you're seeing is caused by the Blizzard servers. And I forgot my pickup distance is substantially lower now, because I changed, I don't know, some kind of item recently. So what do we have here? Oh, a key warden. I've read about those, but can't say I've... Yeah. They apparently only drop these keys, which they can drop if you have 5 stacks of Nephilim Valor on you, and then the keys, you get them in 3 different places and lots of other stuff, and then you can make a really cool ring somehow. Didn't really look into it. Honestly, I feel the crafting in the game is a little bit limited. But this is, it's kind of like that special staff you need for the pony level. It's a similar kind of, I don't know, item hunt across several acts and several quests and different places, and it's all very much luck based, and then you can get new boss fights apparently. And as I said, I didn't really look into it too much. It's not going to be done in this playthrough either, probably. Mostly I'm trying to just, well, get through the game and kind of, I don't know,
Look, just over there. I never imagined such a creature.
perhaps show that Inferno mode is not as scary as people make it out to be. There we go. I believe it's the Molten attribute on mobs. It also makes them blow up after they die, and that causes a lot of damage, so it's best to be careful with those guys and just keep your distance. The explosion is fairly small, so in terms of radius, I mean. The damage is high, but radius small, you get the point. Okay, so let me just quickly identify these items. Okay, life per second. This is not that bad, really. I mean, it's not for me, but meh. And that's not very good. Okay, so in this particular level I'm looking for the KHAZRA Den, because they've apparently gone insane and we're blaming the sword piece. A sword piece. So we're gonna check out, well, why the goatmen have gone insane. And so far the enemies have been fairly easy. Well, the special enemies, I guess, the champions and elite groups. But yeah, it's not gonna stay quite that simple. Later in the game, there's gonna be some difficulty, even with my fairly good gear. And this is not like uber gear or very powerful. It's partially self-found, partially self-bought. Which I guess people might complain about, that I didn't earn this myself. I did, I bought it. And I didn't buy it from real money, I farmed money in-game, which is fine. So, yeah, I don't get why people would complain about that. They do, but no idea why.
Still waiting.
Yeah, there's still a little bit of lag. But so far it's playable. Usually the lag is kind of intermittent, so at times it'll be fine, and at other times it won't be. Okay. Thank you, Hydra, for dealing with that charging wildebeest. And again with these bats, because these plague nests can spawn more bats. You should always focus on the thing which is respawning. So also watch out for these traps. They can deal some fairly major damage, which will hurt you if you're unprepared, I guess. And especially if it hits you during a battle. That is something to look out for. Okay, I've only got two stacks of Valor, so it's not perfect. But this isn't really a long quest anyway. I'm hoping to get to...
This sword piece glows with the stranger's magic.
Who are you to take what is mine?
You're...
Regardless, I have...
To hell with you.
Very well.
Okay, so that
games begin.
That butterfly woman also wants the sword for some reason we don't know yet. Well, since I'm spoiling anyway, she's in league with Belial. And
Well fought, but you will never possess the next piece. It has fallen where only the ancients may tread.
What a miserable woman.
She wants it for Belial because it's apparently a great source of power. As we saw, it turned all these goatmen insane. They're still insane after you take it away, which kind of, I don't know. I guess it makes sense. It corrupted them, and then it was not reversible. Oh, this looks interesting. Well, I don't really know two-handed crossbows. Nah, not really my thing. And I know I can identify all items using that book. Well, I know because I've done it in the first episode.
Found some interesting things on my latest dig. You should take a look.
But mostly, I don't want to do that. I prefer identifying by hand. Well, on video, that is. Simply because then it's more exciting to watch. Or maybe it's not, I don't know.
We are not the only one. Uncle Deckard.
I have.
So, we're not the only ones looking for it, and the second piece is...
taunted me.
That makes
Exactly.
The Nephilim were ancient humans with fantastic powers. Legend holds
Is
that
in an
they waged
ancient
a terrible
Nephilim temple?
battle near the temple, and that their ghosts still war with one another.
Yeah. A temple for by these ancient Nephilim, and apparently only Nephilim
You and
can
I
walk
aren't
there.
So different. I have great power within me too. The only difference is I have no control over mine.
It's such a
That sounds
clumsy way to get that
troubling.
information to players.
It's only happened a few times in my life, and only when I was in grave danger. Something...
You there! Please help! They're going to kill my friend!
So now we meet the scoundrel.
Thieves are going to kill...
What do they want with your friend?
She's just a farmer's daughter, Sasha, but she has a relic that the thieves are after.
He's trying to con her into marrying him so he can get the relic,
I'll
and these
never
people
tell
actually
you.
want to kill her.
Release the girl.
Fine.
They won't get us.
And while he is kind of a brigand, he's gonna help us eventually, so...
You won't get away from us this time!
This isn't over. The rest of the Thieves Guild will find you.
Somehow that never happens. I don't know if they planned to include that at some point or not.
Here's the relic, my love. You're coming with me?
Okay, so it turns out she wants to
Yes.
marry him, he
You
doesn't
look like
quite
you know
want
a lot
that,
about
and the
marriage.
relic is
Now,
fake.
Lead the way! Wait! The relic is a fake! Gods, I should have known! You seem like you could use a helping hand, and I sure as hell don't want to stay around here.
So he's mostly helping us because he doesn't want to marry the woman.
Ah, there you are.
What of your betrothed?
Betrothed? Do I look like the marrying kind to you? By the way, my name is Lyndon.
What the tomes say of Alaric and this temple is not encouraging.
And now this is the temple thing.
You must be Alaric the Guardian. Uncle Deckard told
Are
me.
you dead?
No.
You follow me. I will raise the bridge that you may pass.
So apparently only a Nephilim can enter, and
Worlds beyond.
as
The
we
warrior's
learn...
rest and the crypt of the ancients.
Yep,
Within them.
these names are always the same. Warrior's Rest, Crypt of the Ancient. Whoever heard of, say, Butterfly Canyon?
These woods are ominous and old, even older than my time.
There's some annoying enemies here, the ghosts, which kind of float in and out.
Alaric's people?
No, these are malevolent spirits.
So they're not always hittable because they can hide in the woods somehow, which makes them a bit tedious to fight. But yeah, again, I'm only mostly going to try and look for these two crypts, the Warrior's Rest and the Crypt of the Ancient, both of which include a champion group, either a boss or a elite group. At least I've never seen them without it, so... on your first or on later playthroughs, this might actually be difficult because there's very little space to kite. And if they've got a dangerous combination of skills, such as this is actually quite strong. What do they have? Horde, Mortar, Jailer, something, something, something. Didn't read it because he died too fast. You can check in the video, but basically Jailer is obviously dangerous because it prevents you from kiting, and the Mortar is a very high damage attribute.
What do you miss about it?
It's such an open and beautiful city. It thrives on trade and new ideas. There was always something new and exciting to hear or see.
New and exciting isn't as good as it's made out to be.
Repel them, my brothers!
So here we have Desecrator, Molten, Plagued, and something else, which I didn't read. They died too fast, yeah. Again, that's gonna change when we hit further acts. And as I've also said before, Act 2 is usually the one that causes me the most trouble, and we can get to see this event here now. And I think I will actually do that, because I haven't done it in a while, and I don't quite remember what it was. I believe it was just some battle.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Okay, so defend the invaders. Defeat the invaders, rather. We don't have to defend them.
Take the hill, brothers! Don't let these dogs have it!
Yes, well, come at me. Okay, there's the...
That last skeleton must have been one of Alaric's people, but it didn't stop him from attacking.
I believe we are fighting against both sides of an ancient battle.
Their spirits have been rent asunder. No reason remains within them.
Finishing events, by the way, also refreshes your Valor stacks, or rather it gives you a stack. As, yeah, it's just the way the mechanic works. If you already have your 5 stacks and you would get another one, instead the timer gets reset. So, finishing these events can also be helpful, but most usually, you will find enough champion and elite mobs to maintain your 5 stacks. Okay, what do we have here? Extra health, Molten, Plagued, and Jailer. Now, Molten is dangerous in close environments. Oh, Exalted Sovereign Male. That's nice. Well, that's a blacksmith plan, so he can make that for us, basically. Yeah, Molten basically means they leave behind a trail of something that you're not supposed to step on because it hurts. And they explode after death, which is not really that relevant. And obviously that doesn't really cause you much trouble if you're kiting them anyway.
This brings back memories.
But if they've got an ability to pull you towards them, or if they can somehow prevent you from moving by freezing or jailing or something, that can actually become problematic because the damage you take from the burning floor is fairly high. Similarly, the arcane enchanted thing you just saw, the random purple circly things, well, the sphere with the spiraling blade, I don't know, you saw what you saw. Again, that's easy to avoid, as long as you can avoid it, but if you're somehow forced into it...
This is over, I could open my own little inn somewhere. If I live.
I don't think that life is for me.
Well, if you ever want a job, I will consider your credentials.
So kind.
Yeah, if you're pulled into it, it actually deals a lot of damage. So, it's fine as long as you can avoid it, but occasionally you can't. And that can be very problematic. Aside from that, though, the champions here have been fairly easy so far. And now the Crypt of the Ancients. It's a... well, these dungeons aren't randomly generated, they're always the same in terms of how they look. I think the enemies inside them vary slightly. So what we have here, reflects damage, teleporter minions, okay. I'm not certain if there's any kind of rule to it, but a boss has minions which may have some or all of his abilities as well. Sometimes they only have 1 or 2 of them, sometimes they have almost all of them. I think I've never seen all of them, in fact, but that might just be a coincidence or me misremembering. Sorry. But yeah, it might be... and again, with the bosses, some combinations are a lot nastier than others. And also, again, depends slightly on what kind of boss it is. So that was a... what was it? I don't even remember. Skeletons, I believe. They're not... They don't really have that much special properties to them to begin with. There are some enemies which are fairly distinct. So like the big beasts, which have the charging attack. Or you have certain enemies which keep leaping at you, and again these can make them more difficult if they appear as champions. As always, kill the summoners first. If you're struggling with a certain... no, if you're actually struggling because your equipment isn't quite that good yet, you should also make tactical use of these shrines. I rarely do that. I usually just click them when I pass, and then usually something... I get some effect from it. But as I said, I don't usually try to use them to the greatest advantage. I just try to use them occasionally. Similarly, sometimes you find random health, these healing wells. I don't know, they heal you fully when you touch them. Again, these can be used strategically. And similarly, it can be advantageous to have a fairly small pickup radius for the health globes and the gold. Now, it may seem tedious, and occasionally it is.
But not like this, eh?
But also, it allows you to have more control about which health bubbles you actually pick up. So you can, if you're at full health, you don't really need them, so you can leave them for, well, when you're in trouble and you need the healing. And sometimes your your healing potions are on cooldown, but you still need some health, and then it can be good to have the healing bubbles still lying about. Okay, there's another achievement in here which you can get, which I'm aware of, which is to kill all the 3 brothers which are about to spawn simultaneously. And as I said before,
none may enter the... Rise, my brothers! Rise and do battle!
It's not that difficult, just do it in normal difficulty, and since you'll be able to one-hit them, they'll probably die simultaneously anyway. You see, that was not simultaneous enough, even though they died from the same attack, but yeah, in normal you can probably one-hit them, and that'll make it trivial, as I said.
Your strength, right? You may enter our most sacred place.
So here's the second glowing short sword. Yes, and Magda again sends these random cultists after us. Despite the fact that technically only Nephilim are supposed to be able to enter this place, but no. Doesn't really make that much sense.
My mother will share my fate. Could my mother be alive after all these years?
Yes, she is. We're gonna meet her and she's gonna betray us all.
Don't listen to her.
This fight was too easy. She's toying with us. We must get back to Uncle Deckard right away.
I'm just trying to save you the pain of learning that by yourself. Her mother's alive, but she's in the end gonna betray us and turn Leah into Diablo. Naughty girl, eh? Alright, let's check the rare items. A mojo. I don't know what attribute witch doctors use. Sorry, never played one. Okay, wait, first I'm gonna teach him this Exalted Sovereign Male. Oh, he already knows it. And I was excited for a moment. I always like finding new recipes. Holy damage, intelligence, meh. Can't even use it. Well, that's terrible. That's level 62 and all it has is nothing. Voodoo Mask, again, points for me and I don't know what witch doctors use. An amulet, some attack speed, but I'm not sure how relevant attack speed is these days on characters. I know it was nerfed because it was apparently too strong, but I don't know if that's still a value that people look for, basically. Okay, so that can all be sold.
We were only a step ahead of Magda.
I remember.
That must be.
So, and he remembers where the...
I've dug up some new things for you to take a look at.
He remembers where the third sword shard is. It's difficult to pronounce. Actually, fix me right up. Thank you. And we're gonna go there now. Yeah, I'm hoping to basically finish the first act today and then get recording on the second act maybe tomorrow. I don't know how much time I'll have, but yeah, that's the plan.
I need to take the ferry to work.
I will take you, but beware.
They're destroying the town. Get out while you can.
We must save them.
Death to those.
So here we're just fighting the normal cultist guys we fought before. We are about to refresh our Valor stacks because there's always a champion group in the next event.
Magda is near.
I'm not certain if they always have the same attributes. I I don't remember which ones they had last time, so I can't even check.
Hiding in the chapel with the rest of the townsfolk. We must get to them.
Don't run off! You'll get yourself killed!
Fools! You cannot keep the sword from me!
This is bad.
My servants will burn this town to ashes!
So here we have a, well, slightly boss-ish kind of enemy. He basically summons demons, but again, he's not very dangerous. These guys, though, they are, well, they're a champion group and they have some nasty attributes.
I never imagined such a creature.
And luckily, I'm now, well,
Need more arcane power.
not very troubled by them, let's just put it like that.
A most thrilling battle.
And because they were a regular...
We owe you our lives.
Yes, you do. And because they were a regular champion group, elite group, I don't know.
I seek a sword hilt.
We found them.
Yes, we're looking for the sword,
Going
indeed.
back to Tristram to check on Uncle Deckard.
Yeah, because they were a quote-unquote normal elite group, they refreshed our Valor stacks. And this was the guy who supposedly watched over the sword.
It's not here.
Sword is gone, Magda has it. Spoiler alert, she's gonna kill Cain.
I should have known. I must get back to Kane's house.
Yep, let's go back to Tristram, and I guess I could, well, I don't know if you want to watch this really, well, I'll let you watch
It's
it.
your choice, Cain. Either use your Herodric arts to repair the sword, or your dear Leah dies a horrible death.
All this pain, this destruction. What is the sword to you?
To me, nothing. To my master, Belial, everything. Your rage is overwhelming, girl. You win this round, but if the sword cannot be mine, I'll claim the one it's bound to. In the end, the blade shall be mine.
Uncle, you can't die.
I think that's a special kind of power Leah can only unlock once a month.
But there is one last thing I must do. The sword must be made whole. Just as I suspected, the sword is of the high heavens. The stranger is an angel. Heed the journal. The truth lies within.
Uncle Deckard!
Okay, I'm not sure if I'll show future cutscenes, they're kind of easy to summarize. Kane's dead, she doesn't really care that much.
I could control this power.
Do not blame. I don't know.
When my power.
She can settle.
See, that was her favorite relative in all the world.
Save her from me.
She doesn't seem that unhappy, if I'm quite honest. But Magda has the stranger, and she killed Deckard, so obviously it's time for revenge. So we're gonna, well, find out where she is. But we're not gonna kill her this act, or this episode really. She's gonna die in Act 2. She's the, I guess, the first big boss in that particular act.
I cannot help but think of Cain. His sacrifice will not be in vain.
Well, he is hoping. So down there we want to go to the caverns of ARANEAE, something. I never really paid that much attention to the storyline, but I believe the Skeleton King, when he was still a king, he kind of had this place infested with spiders to prevent people from going through there somehow. Because he was made a bit paranoid by Lazarus. So the Hydra is actually very good for dealing with the smaller spiders here, and of course we get a champion group right away. But we also get to kill it right away, so that's fine. And we get some gear. Oh, I almost missed that guy. Well, that was just in time. Yeah, just in case you probably know, because, well, watching this, you're probably not a first-timer to Diablo 3. But these treasure goblins, if you can't kill them fast enough, they portal out, so you don't get their loot. But if you can kill them, they have some very good stuff. From what I hear, they are the most... well, they have the highest drop rate of the really good stuff, like the item level 63 stuff. Now again, this is just what I have heard others say, so might be completely wrong. Anyway, let's check these items. So far, so bad. Now this here, it might be good. I don't know strength, dexterity, intelligence. Now a witch doctor, I would presume, uses intelligence, but I wouldn't know. I guess there's 4 attributes. No, there's 3 attributes, and there's 5 classes, so... Who knows? Well, that's just junk.
Only the Nephilim could have fashioned ruins as magnificent as these.
Maybe indeed. I usually go left here right away, but because it's slightly randomly generated. And by slightly randomly generated, I mean it's basically as is normal in, well, dungeon generation these days. You basically have certain bits of the dungeon pre-made, and you're just gluing them together randomly. So
away with you.
That way, it helps make the structure look more rounded. Makes it look, well, it fits better. Let's just put it like that. If you generate like very small bits randomly, it tends to look chaotic and not really intentional. And if this is, say, a cave where spiders live, or a ruin built by someone, or an ancient cathedral, anything like that, it's not really a result of randomness, but from a lore perspective, there should be purpose behind the building, so it helps if that's reflected slightly in the style of the thing. So it never looks that way if you completely randomize the thing. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay, again, there's not going to be a diary in here. On your first and probably second playthrough, you're going to find a fair few of these diaries, but probably even on hell difficulty, I doubt you're going to find that many. There's no mimics in this game, which I found strange. Now, they've taken a lot of inspiration for this game, which is not a bad thing. I'm not saying plagiarism or copying others or anything like that, but it seems like mimics... I expected mimics, basically.
I am so good, I astound myself.
So usually somewhere to the bottom of the map was the chamber of Queen ARANEAE, which is who we are meant to find. By the way, one thing which really annoys me about this whole dungeon, the small spiders, they're fine. They have 8 legs. But check out the bigger ones, which are still called something arachnids or something. Many of them have 6 legs, which just doesn't work. A spider has 8 legs. And I've seen this done in multiple games, and I don't see why, what the point of it is, and I would say laziness. But then again, think about it. If you've animated 6 pairs of legs, surely another 2 are not going to be that much more effort. You can just copy the last pair of legs and move it slightly. But yeah, as I said, I've seen this a few times, and it bugs me. And I know people say, but they've got like pincers and they're like the 4th pair of legs. But no, it doesn't work that way. I mean, all the mouth organs that like spiders have, in the end they are just kind of changed legs, if you like. that evolution has slowly formed to different organs. Kind of like lobsters and crabs, they have pincers, which basically used to be legs as well, and stuff along those lines. But yeah, I still think 8 legs shouldn't be that difficult, and if you're gonna make a human spider kind of merge thing, give it 8 legs and then the human body. But here, you see? This thing has 6 legs and then like 2 random small mouth pincer bits, which are not legs. And for me it doesn't work. Now, in general it's not a bad dungeon, but that particular thing really annoys me. And this dungeon is actively designed to prevent kiting. Well, I'm not sure if that's the active purpose of it, but the spiders slow you down.
So good, I astound myself.
So it's just as well that we're in Act 1, because I don't really need that much kiting here. Like, as you saw, even against the Skeleton King, I could most of the time stand there and spam my attack. And I am probably... yeah. I'm probably going the right way now, actually. And there was some slight lag. Just in case, this blue bar here basically is my server lag. Or it indicates my server lag. If we want to be completely precise. So either here or here. I'm just gonna go with I'm going the right way. And again, that healing well, you could now remember that, and if you're in trouble you could try and run back to it to get that heal. You know, I've never had the dungeon... I've never had to explore that much of this dungeon. When I played on normal I explored everything, of course, but... after that I always found this dungeon to be fairly straightforward. Some of these enemies with my standard attack, if I hit a critical, I can still one-hit them, which is nice.
Didn't see that coming, did you?
And someone has complained about me being so arrogant about this whole playthrough, and I'm really not. I don't see quite where that's coming from. I mean, I'm trying to show how you get through the game on the highest difficulty, yes, but even on the highest difficulty, this game is still a lot easier than, say, Dark Souls, and I've never seen complaints on Dark Souls Let's Plays about them being arrogant. I'm more trying to kind of basically show that it's not really that bad, and that anyone can do it, and that... I think I'm going the right way? Maybe. Yeah, I think I am.
My mistress has accepted me. Come close and feel her loving embrace.
I don't think I want to meet your mistress.
We're going to. So, yeah. It's not like I'm not trying to show off how cool I am. As I said, it's a gear-based game, so... best I could show off that I've got cool gear, and most of this I didn't even farm myself, so...
Please,
what would be the point?
It's horrible. She sucks the innards from her victims. Oh, no. No. It's too late. I hear her. The Spider Queen is coming.
Spider Queen?
In, oh, yeah. Yeah, in some places I'm trying to kind of give advice about, well, how to best defeat certain bosses, some helpful stuff, what skills to use, things like that. And again, in another way, I'm just trying to show that Inferno is nothing that you need to fear in a way. Now, people keep saying that, and they keep saying that Inferno is only if you're really bored on Hell, and to me, with the state it's in now, Inferno is just the next difficulty after.
To dissolve these webs. Please hurry.
Thank you.
I can't hang here like this a moment longer. I'll go mad.
I'm sure you can hang on while I pick up my loot. In fact, you've got no choice but hanging on.
Too much.
And it's gonna be even longer now. Okay, well this episode has been long enough though. I will identify and sell in the next episode. I'm not trying to cut that out because, I don't know, people might be interested. So, yeah. I wanted to put the boss fight in this episode, and I'll see you next episode. Bye bye!